Do-do-do-do.
It's really hard to find a place to start where you're going.
I'm sorry, I'm yawning.
In Narcosis, you play as a guy that's not Robert Downey Jr.
No.
Not really.
Who finds himself stranded in some kind of accident in an underwater sea base of sorts, and you have to get out, I guess.
Makes sense.
Sorry, man.
Okay.
Get out! Yo!
You know your character survives because it's monologued by some kind of therapy session or interview that he's doing afterwards.
I think it's an interview.
I don't care. That's my main theme in this video when it comes to Narcosis. I don't care.
That's your theme in every video.
I just don't care, man. It's not my fault I don't care. But I specifically don't care in this game because I was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
The underwater realm is a fucking creepy one.
It's mighty spooky. It's just a weird place down there. I want to go. I want to see what's down there.
Who even knows what's down? I don't want to go.
I do. I want to see all the weird-ass creatures that have never seen daylight.
I have a lot of phobia of sea creatures.
Yeah.
I don't like sea urchins. They're fucking weird. They've got little mouths. It's not natural.
Oh, their mouths are weird, I'll admit that.
Yeah, it's not normal.
No.
And I don't like anglerfish. Mainly the space anglerfish from Outer Wilds, but also anglerfish in general are gnarly.
I think that just triggered your fear
Maybe
again.
just brought it out.
I think it just brought it back out.
They're not right.
I think they're really cool.
They are. They're hella cool.
They are.
They
They're
look
so
cool and interesting, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't want one near me.
Even if it was in a
No.
glass
Keep it.
aquarium.
I'd look at it and I'd be like, God, I'm glad I'm not in there with it.
Okay, so you wouldn't go deep water swimming with an anglerfish.
No. I won't go deep water swimming with anything.
Not even a shark.
Not even you.
Whoa. Not even me, the sea creature.
No. But that's this game's big selling point. Its premise is it's a horror game under the sea.
Yeah.
That's prime for some spooky stuff.
Yeah.
But it lets itself. It drops the ball. It shits the waterbed.
Yeah, I mean, there are some good bits. Like, there are some bits I quite enjoyed.
Yeah, I completely agree. There was that time we thought that giant sea crab was dead.
Yeah.
And it wasn't dead.
Oh.
That was good. I looked at that phrase being like, nah, it's dead, look at it. And then we came back and it was like, whoa.
I was like, it's not dead. I guarantee it's not dead. Nah, it's dead. You're fine. It's not dead.
And it wasn't dead.
It wasn't dead. I think the big difference between us two as well is I'm very easily spooked by things. I can quite easily get into horrors. I can quite easily get into horror games. And even if I know it's technically a bad game, or if it's technically not a well-made horror, I still get spooked. And I can still enjoy that. So I think just based on that point, I think I enjoy these games more than you.
I don't necessarily think it's how scary it is. For anyone who watched it, and apparently nobody did, in the Doctor Who Edge of Reality video I did, you know, I some of that bit I thought was genuinely really good. It didn't scare me.
No.
It didn't upset me or keep me awake at night, but it was atmospheric. It built itself up and it was tense. So it doesn't have to be scary. It just has to engross me. And Narcosis never did.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think the big thing with Narcosis is it's very long. And there's only so much of hearing
Not Robert Downey Jr.
not Robert Downey Jr. talk about what's going on a bit too vaguely sometimes.
I think you're right about its main issue being too long.
Yeah.
Because some of the setups for jump scares and set piece moments are well thought out. The big dead crab, it was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was funny. It was great. There's a bit where you go into a room and then, can't remember specifics, either the lights go off or you turn around and you look back. But then you're just surrounded by all these underwater diving suits and there's no door anymore. That's good.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. It's unique. I've never seen anything like that in a game before. Those moments, if there was more of them, great. But they're so spaced out into a horror game that should have been 3 hours instead of 6 to 7.
Yeah, I think it was relying on the fact that people are scared of the deep dark sea too much. Because, yeah, I'm scared of what's down there, but the reason I'm scared of the sea is because I'm scared of what's down there.
Not what's not down
No, what's
there.
not down there. I'm not scared because it's dark.
Or quiet.
I'm scared because things are fucking
And
strange.
there's only so many squids I can stab to death.
Yeah, that's also true. I feel like they could have. I mean, I enjoyed the different creatures you kind of fight, but there could have been a bit more of that, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe that would have
Well,
helped.
that's the thing. There needed to be more of that because the game was longer. If the game was shorter, there doesn't need to be more of that. And that's the balance I think they kind of messed up here.
Yeah.
Another thing they messed up, in general, is the presentation of everything.
Yeah, a lot of the times things weren't very clear.
When you die and when you enter a different level, look exactly the same.
Yeah, it's hard to tell the difference.
I've not seen transitions that jarring since the PS2. This, whose idea? Someone was off that day.
Yeah.
Someone pushed this game out and forgot, oh shit, I forgot to put in the transitions.
Yeah, there are times that we finished a section and we're moving on to the next that we assumed we died, and we're pleasantly surprised when we've carried on.
Speaking of the dying, the checkpointing is fucking atrocious.
It's hit and miss.
It's hit, okay, yeah, sometimes you go, okay, that's fine, but then other times you have to go maybe like 10 minutes back.
Yeah.
Maybe not 10 minutes, 5 minutes. That's still too much.
Yeah.
I'm all for checkpointing. It's not all the time, but it is more than enough to be annoying.
The good checkpoints are within more intense sections, but there are some times where you have to walk along a long section and you die randomly or stupidly because you just did something wrong.
Because you got stuck on a rock. Because
Yeah.
it's impossible to walk around things that are about ankle high.
Yeah. And then you die and then you get thrown back quite far and then you have to very slowly walk towards where you were again. And that can kind of throw off the tension, first of all, but it just throws you off the actual game. It throws you off the feeling that you have being in the deep, dark ocean. I don't know whether this makes it a good thing or a bad thing, depends on who you are, I guess, but this is kind of just a walking simulator with more steps.
And as we all know, walking simulators are just horror games that aren't scary.
There are a lot of horror games that are basically walking simulators, and it needs to stop.
For every half-decent one, there's 20 like this.
Yeah.
With good ideas, but
Poorly executed.
Poorly executed, and you've used the lack of any meaningful interaction to just stretch your game out to 8 hours.
Not every game needs to be 8 hours, that's another thing.
You know what? It also, another thing, and I kind of just thought this with Narcosis, the walking simulator aspects kind of make the bad checkpointing even worse. Because instead of there being any kind of skill as to whether you live or die, dying is just arbitrary. You don't die because you messed up. You die because the game didn't signpost the oxygen tanks well enough.
No, so
Or
you
there was
just
just-
went the wrong way a bit.
Yeah, or there was just a hole in the ground that you fell down because the game did a really bad job of saying, look, there's a hole in the ground here, and everything's pitch black, but come on. The fact that a lot of the time it's just trial and error, it just makes it so much more frustrating.
There's only so much trial and error you can do.
Shall we get into some spoilers?
Yeah, go on then.
Because my favourite part of this game is the ending.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that sarcastically.
No, no. But also, the ending was nice.
The ending twist, the moment the game wrestles control from you and goes, here's a bit of story now, is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's simple, but I thought, oh, that's clever. I like that.
Yeah, I weirdly wasn't expecting it. It's a very simple ending, but I wasn't expecting that twist.
Basically, despite the fact you think you're playing as not Robert Downey Jr. for the whole game, you're not playing as Robert Downey Jr.
You're still not playing as Robert Downey Jr.
Not Robert Downey Jr. was in an escape capsule on his own somewhere else. And you, whoever you are, reach that said escape capsule, and he's already set the launch sequence. He's already used all your setup and everything you've been doing to escape, and he leaves you to die, and his monologue, his voiceover in the interview, is just some other guy explaining what happened because he left your character to die. That's clever.
It is.
I like that.
Yeah, and it's a sad moment because you get there and you realise there's someone else and you're like, oh, cool. Why does the guy keep saying we're the only one who survived? There's someone else there in the escape pod. And then it's locked. And you can't get in. And it can't open. And there's only one escape pod.
Bastard.
Yeah, absolute bastard. Could have waited longer.
You bastards! Why are you torturing me like this? Why?
That all said, that end story bit is great.
Yeah, doesn't make up for it.
Doesn't deserve it either. There's no story worth investing in, like, until that very end moment. So it's just this self-isolated little cool twist that would have worked better in a game that was better.
It had some great ideas, but it didn't execute them very well.
Like
It had some cool visuals.
It did, like the supernatural elements.
They were great.
They look great, but they're just there.
There's no reason for them.
They never elaborate on it in any shape or form.
No.
Kind of didn't need them. Big sea creatures, anglerfish are creepy enough. You don't need the weird, ooh, what's going on?
Get more big sea creatures in.
It's not lack of oxygen, we've got plenty of that.
Yeah.
We're huffing oxygen all the time.
If we only saw those kinds of things when we were running low on oxygen, I would accept it.
That might be what they're going for.
But when those things happened, we weren't necessarily low on oxygen.
Yeah.
We still had oxygen, so technically we still should be breathing normally.
I think this game's okay at best.
Okay at best with a decent ending.
But most of the time it's
Okay at best.
It's fucking dull, I think. It's okay at best.
Yeah.
Most of the time I think it's fucking dull.
And like most walking simulators, you can basically just slowly walk. I accept it a little bit because you're in a giant undersea suit, but it's boring. And it's slow, and slow's fine, but not for 8 hours.
10% of the game feels like it's trying to be something fresh and fun, while the other 90% is padding. I actually find it kind of insulting to the whole survival horror genre that this game dares to classify itself as one. I would like Narcosis more if it was cheaper.
How much did you pay for it in the end?
It was like £6 in a sale, which probably means like...
It's 15 quid, which isn't necessarily that much, but I wouldn't pay that much for it. It's not worth it.
This is the kind of game you get on a whim when you're just looking for a bit of a creepy experience. Maybe you want to play a game with your friends, like we did. We played this because we wanted to share a bit of a creepy experience.
You can talk over it.
That's not...
It's definitely not a good thing to say about a game, but if you want to play a game with 8 friends that you don't want to sit in silence for...
Buy Jackbox. Buy a party game.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's plenty better.
Yeah.
There's plenty cheaper. If you really think this might be for you, maybe you've heard what we said and you go, actually, I like these elements or whatever, wait for a sale, because there's a good chance you'll be disappointed. Anyway, on that solemn note, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a like and subscribe. It really helps us out. And if you want to financially support the channel, then our Patreon is in the description. Did you play Narcosis? Did you think it was shit? What's your favourite horror game?
Did you think it was Robert Downey Jr.?
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't, I'm lying. It was...
I did have to check.
I wish it was.
No. It might be.
It could be. It's not Robert Downey Jr.,
No.
but maybe it is. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.
Bye.